All right, this is the one I've been waiting for. This is the franchise live stream feature premiere for MLB The Show. I haven't done any of these for any of the other MLB The Shows just because, I've been watching and seeing, and there's some good things to like. But franchise is the one that I'm most curious about because franchise is what I play the most of now. So we're going to watch this feature premiere. We're going to go through everything they go through. I'll probably be pausing along the way as well, just to, give feedback or give my thoughts on the changes. So let's get started. It's at 0. I'm a little behind now, but I don't care about any of this. Yeah, okay.
Senior. We are sitting here today with senior game designer and product owner of franchise, Clayton Reed. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm just realizing now that I'm sitting here, I was here last year as well, but 2 years ago when my Rangers won, somehow I wasn't brought on to do the stream, so there's a bit of conspiracy there. But again, I'm still in the World Series glow. Glad to be back for another year.
It's great to have you. We know that you and the whole team live and breathe for.
Yeah, I'll give a little PSA. Just say that
I'm skipping through some of this. I just
like
don't
everyone,
care.
all other games, we want our franchise mode to be the best. But we're not just saying that. We love franchise. Like for
I always say work in progress, but it's always
franchise mode is what I
exactly
play.
what you
Tim's
get.
Tim's going to join
at
us
launch.
later. Franchise mode is what he loves to play. Our team's very passionate about it. And it's important to us not just as developers, but as fans. So we want the best experience possible for our fans.
I love that you touch on, you are equally a fan of the game, as is
100%.
the community. Tim is somebody who's come from the community. You've been here how many years now?
Again, we don't want to get into this. It'll age me, but I've been here a minute. A minute.
Right, but you...
A long minute.
A long minute. But you've had that refreshing the foundation of franchise mode, and now we're in a position where we kind of reap some of those benefits and what we're able to add
Huge
to
homer, bottom of the
franchise.
ninth, too.
So if we want to kind of backpedal a little bit, what have we added and where are we going?
Right. So after our team took charge of franchise, we took a cycle or two to really get the foundation in place. We're talking trade metric, player metric, all these pieces to allow us to move forward. Since then, we've overhauled scouting and drafting. We've overhauled free agency. We've added custom game entry. And I'm going to talk about custom game entry for a minute just because, even when we do focus testing and research, we notice that there's people that don't realize that custom game entry is in there. And we think it's really important that people that want to play franchise, sometimes they're a little intimidated about, the amount of games they can play it. So I'll talk about custom game entry again for 1 second here. You can customize the level of importance of games to come in. You can set the earliest inning you want to enter a game. You can choose to come in for individual player moments, noteworthy moments, or not. It gives you a ton of flexibility. You don't have to play all 162 games, but you'll be there
Which
for
I
the
never
big
do
moments.
in franchise.
We want you to get through seasons. We want you to dig into the features that we've put, blood, sweat, and tears into.
The thing that I'm hoping, though, out of this, it's something that there was a Twitter conversation about it too earlier this week, but these modes kind of fall apart after year 3, year 4. The logic kind of just goes out the window. So these features are nice where you can skip through games and stuff, but if the mode falls apart after 4 seasons, what's the point? Even MLB The Show, trades get insane. Some of the best players in the league are getting signed to league minimum because the cap is in an insane place. The whole entire mode falls apart after 3-4 years. So it hopefully, adding these features of get through seasons quicker. Hopefully some of the back end stuff is also worked on.
For sure. And I know that, leads us all into one of the biggest features we've seen in franchise now that we're going to kick off, and it's the new trade system.
Yeah. All that said,
New trade system's great, but if the logic is still where the logic is, then not that great.
the biggest part of the stream that we'll discuss is the new trade system that we built from scratch. The system's night and day when compared to the old system.
That's good.
Easily the best system we've had in the show. You
Okay.
can quote me on that. Not even scared. Not even close to anything that came before. So Rangers trades, quote me.
There you have it. Yeah, Mackenzie Gore, my Nats, and your Rangers already
had
a trade.
We're working deals out.
Yeah, we're celebrating.
Like
It won't stop there. We're also going to sit down with Tim. We're going to talk about some of the new logic, some of the new bullpen logic, some bullpen games. And then, of course, I know some people are asking, what is Streamlined franchise? We're going to dive into that today, too. Really excited to get this going.
Carson, as you were saying, we're going to dive into all the different logic systems and overalls, including the whole new trade system, Clayton. But kind of backing it up a little bit, as we're going through these new overhauls and systems and how we're tackling which piece of franchise for each dev cycle, what are some of the pillars that are upholding some of these decisions?
Yeah, that's a good word. We do take it to heart. We emphasize these pillars when we're trying to develop a feature. And the first one's depth. We want layers. We want like real life components, as many as possible. We feel that gives a feature replayability. So that goes into, trade system, free agency, all these things. We want authenticity, realism, not only in how our fans engage with the mode, but how the CPU, what it does, how it behaves. We want that to be realistic as well.
Yeah.
We want to follow the current trends in baseball.
This game really hasn't changed the way it's looked in like
probably knows by now. I want to
7 years.
In the mode. I always want to challenge.
Except for like some UI stuff.
Elements. I want there to be strategy. I want stress. To me, stress equates to fun.
Jersey physics are nice though.
Deliver a feature and it's not challenging and doesn't deliver stress. How can it be fun, right?
I'm glad you mentioned challenge. I feel like of all the people who I follow who play franchise religiously, they're always asking, make it harder. I want more challenge. I don't want this to be a cakewalk. So the fact.
Yeah, what it always comes down to when you're doing a franchise, you have to set limitations on yourself. Like, you have to limit yourself. You have to be like, okay, I can only do this trade if it makes sense, or I can only sign this free agent if it makes sense, or, you have to limit yourself to make, like, an enjoyable franchise mode in MLB The Show. So, like, if they increase difficulty across the entire spectrum in trades, free agency, stuff like that, like, that's going to be really good.
That we're going to be building on that a little later with trade logic. I'm excited for them to find out.
And we'll touch on that a little bit. That came up from the community about trades, and obviously we take that to heart. And Fog of War with challenge, getting back to that, I always love Fog of War. People mock me, but I love a little Fog of War, a little misdirection. And then if we get depth, authenticity, and challenge right, then we get immersion, right? We want you getting lost in our systems, enjoying the challenge. And then the last thing is accessibility. We want you to be able to enjoy our features at a higher level.
This is just something that's random, but doesn't it look like the jersey is like floating off of the player model? Like, it doesn't look natural. It looks really weird. Maybe that's just me.
But allow for a deeper dive. And we know it can be overwhelming to newcomers in franchise. There's so much to do in there, but we want them to enjoy it, even if they don't dive as deep in as like Tim or I do with franchise.
Right. Now, hearing about all these pillars, our fans have a little bit of background on what we kind of think about going into each development cycle. But you know what? Without further ado, let's talk trades.
All right, everyone's heard us talk about this new trade experience. Before we go live and make some trades ourselves, Clayton, let's dive into what this means.
Yeah, I'm going to reiterate, this trade logic is written from scratch. It's possible we were trying to stop the old trade system ship from sinking with duct tape and band-aids, but in order to move forward, we had to, abandon the old logic and start over.
Thank God.
So yeah, what does that mean? I know, realism is the pinnacle, but what can fans expect?
Yeah, I'm going to dig back into the pillars like we talked about. So for the trade system, for the perspective of challenge, we felt like trading was too easy, which to me made it boring. It's not easy anymore, which
thank God.
I think you'll love, which I like. The community wants a challenge. We knew they wanted a challenge. They want, again, the risk reward element. They want the chance that you may lose a trade, No longer is that hand-holding visual that's going to tell you if a trade's been accepted or not. You have to gauge based on feedback and what, satisfies your rival GMs. And the CPU often is going to get the better of you in trade negotiations. So you have to be on your toes and pay attention to what's going on around the league.
In addition to creating all these new challenges for our fans to experience, let's also touch a little bit on the realism pillar. Yeah. Some offers and systems are kind of returning back into this trade logic.
Yeah. So we brought back pending offers, and with pending offers comes counter offers.
That's actually good. I liked the pending offers. The instant trades kind of sucked.
Which is real life. That's realism, right?
Whoa.
Realism.
Okay. So the Guardians got 2 prospects in Sebastian Walcott and Kumar Rocker, Jacob Latz, and the Rangers got J-Ram, which, see, this is one of the things. The Guardians are never going to trade J-Ram, ever. They're never going to trade him. They just signed a mega deal. He wants to stay a Cleveland Guardian. Like, why is this trade happening? I think that it's already fallen apart. Like, he should be an untouchable.
Right. There's a new dynamic trade block logic, which is...
It's already fallen apart. Daniel Suarez, why are the Marlins? Maybe the Marlins are going for a playoff push right now or something?
Appropriate for the different organizational strategies. If we talk trade packages, buyers want MLB ready talent. They want win now. Sellers want prospects. They want young MLB talent. And it's wise to be realistic.
Maybe dumping Cap here? Did they do 2 back-to-back trade, the Marlins and the Reds?
Young MLB talent. And it's wise to be realistic about your team's outlook, when you're trying to fill your trade block,
Jesus Christ, what the fuck is this? What is this trade? So the Mariners got Kevin Gausman, George Springer, Anthony Santander, and Eric Lauer. So I guess the Blue Jays are selling, I guess after maybe 1 season of being not the best. Ryan Sloan, Montez, Stevenson, and Logan Evans. I mean, this is another one. I guess I just don't... I guess if the Blue Jays are just dumping Cap off, like, why would they get rid of everybody if they're having, like, maybe 1 bad season or 1 mid-season? They just got rid of fucking everybody on their team? Like a top-of-the-line starter, a serviceable starting right fielder, a good DH in Santander. Dude, I don't know.
If you're a struggling team, you don't want to behave like you're a buyer.
Yeah,
per se.
Sure.
It may be countered.
This looks terrible. I'm not gonna lie. This looks actually really bad.
Intuitive to what you're trying.
I mean, maybe if like the Blue Jays had like a bad season and then they followed it up with maybe a second bad season, and they go into rebuilding mode. But like they have the talent now and the people coming up to be in a little bit of a window. I just don't. I mean, again, they could just be dumping Cap off too. Like, Springer has 1 year left. Gausman has 1 year left. I think Santander is maybe on a 2-year deal now, but
do from a trade perspective, there's new feedback system. The bar telling you if a trade is going to be accepted or not, that's gone. Opposing GMs will straight up tell you players that they are interested in, and they'll let you know if a trade is offensive or if it's in the ballpark. Positional needs will guide you so far as like org strategies for opposing teams. And rumors will sometimes let you know if a rival is about to steal someone on your trade targets or steal someone that's in a pending offer. And rival GMs will even mock you if you significantly overpay. They'll make fun of you.
I kind of love that.
Our fans can expect a new level of realism
fucking cares?
with this new trade hub.
As Carson was alluding to, we're going to have a new look at the trade hub and all the multi-dimensions around it. So can you walk us through what our fans...
I'm still trying to go back to those trades that we just saw. Those all looked bad. I don't know how to feel about that.
Can expect.
Yeah, and this all falls under the depth, right? So there's a new trade hub, a one-stop shop for everything trade-related. It is not the March-October trade hub. It's that, times 1,000. So it's exciting. We have expanded trade slots, 4-a-side now.
Yeah, which is nice. The 4-a-side is nice.
Trade, expanded organizational strategies, big buyers, small buyers, big sellers, small sellers, different kind of stand pats, and it kind of depends on farm rankings that are now incorporated in the trade. So
that's good.
The farm rankings will affect your organizational strategies.
Yeah, that's good.
We have positional market sentiments. We have overall market
Terry
sentiments.
Carpenter on the trade block. Oh, okay.
Maybe it's a buyer's market at shortstop. And sometimes you can time it. If you want a shortstop, it's a buyer's market, and it's a positional buyer's market at shortstop. You can get a great deal if you time it that way. And then market sizes, they influence player trade values depending on market sentiment and organizational strategies. And then the big thing with market sizes is that, small markets they're not going to be able to acquire those long-term giant contracts. So I'm sorry to the Rays and Pirates. Juan Soto
Sometimes
is
they
not
are
coming to you unless
Oh,
maybe it's
yeah.
walk here or walk here +1.
Yeah, I mean, this is just going to make it feel more real than ever before. Like you said, like taking account.
Imagine Juan Soto
for
getting
these
traded
walk-years with these small market
fucking
teams,
Athletics.
or even just like the buyer and sellers markets between positions. You're going to have to really put on your GM hat to execute some of these trades.
100%. Timing is going to be crucial, this is all depth, right? The more depth, we just want the realism. We want the depth. We want all these pieces in. We have untouchables. We have trade targets. Trade targets, you're basically telling other GMs that you're interested in this player, and then depending on their situations, you make it an offer from them. Like it's like passively pursuing these players.
Oh, okay, that's actually really
rumor
nice.
logic with, of course, fog of war. Secondary positions. We're excited about this because secondary positions are factored into trades now. So the CPU won't only be targeting, say they need a second baseman. They're not only going to be targeting primary second baseman. They can target players that play second base as a secondary position.
That's actually really nice too.
Updated trade frequency that ramps up the closer you get to the trade deadline. And then positional needs is again there. This drives offers and it's incorporated into trade evaluations.
What I'm kind of hearing through this laundry list of details that we experience in real life with Major League Baseball, with the trade deadline, is now going to be incorporated into franchise at a level we have not seen before, something I know our fans have wanted, and I can just see all the tweets of them wanting to get their hands on this game.
Dude,
as soon as
it still
possible.
comes back to all the trades
that
they showed.
It's so important for us to get as much depth in as possible because that's what makes it interesting for us as people who love franchise. We get all these pieces in the depth, the challenge, the realism, and it all leads to immersion, right? And the back and forth nature of the pending trades and the counter offers, and it leads to stressful moments, the rumors, the misdirection. It's fun and it will suck you in. Like this is the most fun I've had playing franchise in a long time with all the the features in place, free agency, trading.
To the feature premiere, remind our fans, what do you do here?
Hey, I'm a game designer here on the show, and I've been...
Well, it's rainy here in San Diego, and I hear when it rains, it pours, and we're going to be adding on to all the trade logic we were talking about with Clayton. Walk us through some of the lineup logic that's being added to franchise this year.
We are so excited to talk about lineup logic because this is something that we have had on our radar for quite some time.
Got that GT
lineups,
racer
like
chair,
Clay mentioned before, are part of our pillars, and we wanted to hit the realism part. So we did a lot of research, and in that research, there was a lot of new trends in baseball that we haven't replicated correctly. We wanted to fix that. So now you're going to see your best hitters.
Yeah, they've showed this a little bit already, and this is actually nice.
And the on-base percentage guy will be in the one spot. It doesn't matter anymore the position. We're not looking for the slap hitters, the speed guys. Now you'll see the Otanis, the Schwarbers, those guys hitting that leadoff spot. Kind of excited.
Yeah, I'm hearing, more modern takes in the game are
which
going
is nice
into franchise, which is super exciting.
I
know it doesn't stop there. We talk about depth, we talk about immersion. Tim, let's talk more about this.
So when you talk about depth, one of the things for us is always to have that risk reward factor in there, and also to have some immersion. For our depth, performance matters this year. So attributes are part of the package with the lineups, but performance in game and in previous seasons also come into play. If you had a player last year playing real MLB and their stats didn't really reflect their performance, the artificial GM may decide they're going to put them in a different spot in the order. As the season progresses, that dynamic attributes and performance will end up changing their performance on the field, moving their spot in the lineup. They can move up, they can move down, just like a real manager does in a baseball game.
And it doesn't stop there. I know I'm excited for the next change, which is the bullpen rotation logic and the addition of bullpen games, Tim.
Yeah, they have openers now, which is nice.
So in the last couple of World Series, we've seen the bullpen games been a major part of the way the modern use of the bullpen
Tigers.
is used. We have the openers that will start the game. They'll pitch an inning or two, and then somebody else will come in to finish off the game. Multiple innings will be pitched, and we wanted to reflect that in our game. So to do that,
the opener.
We have not only the user can utilize this, but the CPU will as well. And there's a few triggers that'll happen
and the opener is nice too. Like if you have a certain lineup too, where you can bring in, because with actual like starters, like not except for like the big time starters, they're just like they're like really good across the board. But then you have bullpen guys who specialize in things and who can give you like 1 or 2 shutdown innings. And like if you can get those 1 or 2 shutdown innings at the start of the game to give your team a chance to maybe like take an early lead, then you bring in, somebody to eat some innings in the middle, like that can go a long way. Like that's the thought behind like an opener, is to give those early shutdown innings and then bring in like an inning eater after hopefully maybe you've taken the lead or something like that. So I do like that they've added this in here. This is really nice.
It'll cause it just like real baseball. Short-term injuries can impact it. So
that
if
too.
you had a starter,
and in the playoffs, it's really big too because you have a playoff roster and it's usually you'll carry like 3 starters, maybe 3-4 starters. So that's what the Tigers did. They had like 3 starters and then they did just a bunch of bullpen games, like live by the chaos, look at matchups. And like just play the matchups, and that's all.
It's missing a starter or 2. You may see a bullpen game that'll occur. A lack of quality in the rotation. So if you don't have a starter that could handle the rigor of pitching at 5 to 6 innings in the major league game anymore, you may see now a bullpen game occur.
Yeah.
And if your starting pitcher, for whatever reason, has a long outing and their energy and stamina is down, you may see a bullpen game occur.
Yep.
So one of the things that
we
had talked about that we wanted to move forward with, anything that the user can do, we want the CPU to do. And you'll see that in our new game this year with bullpen games.
And that leads even more to the realism, the immersion of the franchise experience. But let's touch a little bit on depth. You were already going down that path, whether it's performance, whether it's starting pitcher energy, what kind of depth are our fans looking at to then trigger these bullpen games or when these bullpen games are occurring?
So like I said, bullpen games are going to occur naturally. It's going to be a part of the game where you'll see, and the user can do this at any time. The user can, if they wanted to have a bullpen game in the 4 spot, the 5 spot, they can set up the bullpen game themselves at any time. This
will also help too, like, setting up a bullpen game. If you have like maybe an injury and you don't want to put somebody on like a 60-day injury list, or you don't want to like call somebody up or send somebody down or anything of that nature, you can just play a bullpen game while they're on like the 15-day IL.
CPU will use it whenever it makes sense for them, based on pitcher energy, a lack of depth, or maybe it's just that that's the best option they have. And you'll see that, and the logic is working great. We're seeing some awesome outcomes with it. And this realism leads to more immersion in our game. And again, it's part of our pillars that we're looking for. And the CPU will even choose the opener based on the qualities that a real GM and a real manager look for in an opener.
Yeah, like lineups.
What I'm hearing through, whether it's the trade
you
logic,
play the matchups,
overhaul, lineup logic, bullpen logic, we're just seeing the modern game now being accurately reflected in MLB The Show 26.
That's our whole idea. Everything that we're looking to do is to try to reflect the game of baseball, make it.
Which is why the Guardians traded Jose Ramirez this year in their trade logic. They're just trying to match real life, guys.
Realistic, make it fun, make it challenging.
Thank you, Tim, so much for joining us, talking through lineup and bullpen logic. Is there anything else you want the fans to know?
The only thing that I'm looking forward to showing everyone in the live stream is how lineups, bullpens, rotations are performance-based this year, and you will see that, and they will evolve naturally through the progression through the season. Performance is going to matter here, so players can move up, down the lineup. They can even move in different spots in the rotation or in the bullpen.
Yeah, we will see it when we go live. Thanks again, Tim.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you once again, Tim, for joining us. I hope you're staying warm in upstate New York. But as we get ready of playing the game, anything else you'd like to say, Clayton?
Yeah, we'll save it for the live portion, but one of the big accessibility additions is Streamlined franchise. We'll touch on that then, and then we'll get into some more fan request stuff that we've implemented as well, but we'll touch on that when we go live. And then we'll also touch on Yankees aging rotation, Tim's team, and how they'll probably use the bullpen game a lot.
All right, well, I'm excited to get our hands dirty. Let's get to it.
Hello, welcome back. We are live from San Diego studio. We are 14 days away from early access, Ashley.
That is 2 weeks from today. You just heard about how we've built the trade logic system from the ground up. You got a sneak peek into the show 26.
They're just going to recap stuff.
Your game designer and product owner, Clayton.
Yeah.
It means you care. Yeah.
Other fun stuff throughout this whole live portion.
Yeah, let's have some fun. Time to celebrate. I know Tim wishes he could be here. He's stuck in snowy upstate New York, but
hopefully
he's
he's in
watching
the
at
chat.
home.
Yeah.
Jealous that he's not
We're
here.
thinking of you, Tim.
Tim, type 1 if you're in chat.
All right, so before we dive too deep into the whole new trade system, I wanted to kind of set up a couple trades that typically will garner some counter offers, because bringing back pending offers, bringing back the back and forth nature of trade negotiations, it was very important to us, and for us it adds a level of excitement.
It's just so much better than the instant
and
offers.
realism, So if we look at we're going to dig into the trade hub a bit more later, but right now you can get a quick look at market sentiment, sellers market, bidding wars for right field and second base. But as my beloved Rangers, I set up a couple of trades here. One, trying to look for a prospect shortstop, Jet Williams. I maybe lowballed them a little bit with Berger and Peterson. Then looking for a closer, right? So was targeting Rodriguez, who was on the trade block. And
you
again,
really underpay.
And typically these kind of trades will garner a counter offer because they're not going to accept these.
Right, and I think this is important for any of our fans to know. These are pending offers now, right? Like, we're not getting the instant gratification of a trade that you guys might be familiar with. So there is that cat and mouse game. You're sending it across the fence. You're waiting to see what that team's going to say.
Exactly.
And hopefully get some counters.
Yeah, for sure. So you can see here I looked at the MLB trade block. Randy Rodriguez has been placed on the block. So he's someone that I'm looking to acquire.
Wait, why has he been placed on the block,
though? I don't
though?
want to pay more than I have to, right? So set up a couple trades here. We should be able to go into the calendar and then sim, and let's see if we get some counter offers.
So you touched on earlier, you're kind of lowballing a little bit. So what are you kind of expecting to happen once you hear back from your trade partner?
How long is it? I wonder how long that takes. 1 day, 2 days, 9 days?
The value's there or not, whether any of these players are really meeting their needs, whether it's positional needs, or if they're selling, they probably want young MLB, they want prospects. Our TV is almost turning off here, so 1 second.
It's the beauty of doing everything live, you know?
Yep.
Never know what's going to happen.
Fuck it, we're doing it live.
All right, so we're going to sim ahead a few days, and hopefully, so the Giants, if we 1 day after, hopefully we see some counter offers and we get some of that back and forth nature. Okay, 1 day right off the hop. Okay, so the Giants, if we went back in and we looked at the trade block for the Giants, a position need for them was right field, among other things. They didn't like my Jake Berger piece of that trade.
Wow.
Who it was. So they came back and they're literally, they're telling us, you can see here the fit wasn't quite right, but Brandon Nimmo is someone we're interested in, right? So they're straight up telling you a player they're interested in. So again, a very obvious hint, but it's something, you can work around. If you don't like this offer, you can maybe focus a different package on Nimmo, right? So we've got that counter offer there. We'll see if we get another one.
It's cool that they're giving you a little sneak peek.
Oh, so it could be a day, it could be 4 days.
Another counter offer. And you can see that some decisions are made sooner than later. Right. Some teams take longer to get back. Same thing here. Oh, they're after Jung. So Milwaukee, if we go back to the trade block again, which we can do in a minute.
Honestly, Josh Jung might not be terrible.
They're looking for a third baseman. Right? And Josh Jung was on my trade block, and so they came back and countered it with a trade that met their needs and that they deem is fair. Although the CPU, more often than not, will try and game you a little bit and get a little extra value out of it.
Game or be gamed, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we'll jump back in the trade up. We go in here, MLB trade blocks. Where are the Giants? Up there.
There you go.
So the Giants were looking for a left fielder, actually, but Nimmo, and this is another piece of it, right? Typically,
Nimmo
in
left
the
field,
past,
secondary.
With the trade logic, they'd only be looking at primary positions, but Nimmo has secondary left field, so they know that Nimmo can fit their need in left field, so that's why they added him to the package. It's going to improve enough their left field position that it's someone that they're after.
I'm glad you mentioned that. That was one of the bigger points of our fielding feedback that came out earlier this morning that fans were kind of latching to. It's not just the primary positions, whether it's us, whether it's the CPU. Your secondary positions matter just as much.
Exactly, and that was important for us.
Yeah.
We felt the old trade logic was limited to primary positions. We didn't want that to be. Same thing when we get into lineup logic. We've really honed in on secondary positions to fill.
Also, Jet Williams was on the
because that's what we see in the real MLB.
He was on the MLB roster, which is
make
crazy.
it feel as real as possible.
Yeah, and as I mentioned before, the Brewers, they're seeking first base, third base, center field. So obviously, Josh Jung was someone that improves third base enough that they were happy giving a counter offer for that.
Yeah, very cool.
So, Colin, I'm going to set something up here.
Go back to the main cam?
Yeah, go back to the main cam.
Hey,
Perfect.
As Clayton's kind of setting everything up, Travis, what is something that you're most looking forward to about franchise this year?
Oh, I'm just so excited for our team that, you know, with such a small dev cycle, it's kind of tough to get everything in that we want.
Now what I want to do is I just want to we're just going to sim. We're on 30-team control.
All right.
Everything's on automatic. We just want to look at trades that come up and celebrate the trades.
Yeah,
let's
do that.
And see what happens. We ready to roll?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Yeah, let's see Jose Ramirez get
Typically
simmed.
April and May, just
or
like
get
in
traded.
real life, will be quieter months for trades. But we'll see if we get one in April. Already we got one in April.
Oh, okay.
All right. So the D-backs, trading away a reliever, potentially selling already. AJ
I mean, I don't know why they'd be selling already, but
Puck, 78 overall. All right.
yeah, I
Cubs
mean,
are
it's not
already buyers.
that's not terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like
And
that as a
obviously-
White Sox
Yeah.
fan. Let's take this back a little bit.
And so the D-backs, again, you're looking for, a young piece to build around 24 years old. Good trade there. All right.
Some of our D-backs fans are bummed. Sorry, guys.
They're selling already. Maybe a small seller early in the season. All right, so one in April. Another one. Who we
All
got
right.
here?
All right.
Stevenson. Marlins look like small buyers.
Nah, this is bad.
Stevenson. And again, another young starting
Yeah.
pitcher.
He has C potential though. Like this guy's gonna equate to a fucking 69 overall probably.
Key potential, but 64 OVR.
At Franchise and MLB The Show 26 live. We're 2 weeks away from early access.
All right, 71 overall. So like this isn't too bad. You know, you get a younger prospect for maybe somebody that can just fit into your lineup
Yes.
somewhere.
It's going
Ooh,
quick.
speaking of my White Sox,
Uh-oh.
trading away Lamont
There
Wade
we
Jr.
go.
Yeah.
Okay.
How do you feel about that,
Selling a little
Ashley?
bit here.
I mean, know that?
Oh, okay. Here we go.
Oh, on the up and up again.
This is news to me.
Oh man.
Like premium position at catcher too. Dude, I don't know. Marlin? Okay, I guess the Marlins are undefeated right now because they are buying everybody. So the Marlins are taking on 2 years, $37 million a year. Because that's what the Marlins do, guys.
Oh, okay. Here we Marlins typically wouldn't be buyers for someone of DeGrom's stature
Right.
with his
Yeah.
AAV, but if it's your walk year or walk year plus one, some of these small market teams can take a shot at some of these.
Yeah, they usually don't though. Not at 37 a year. Maybe on a walk year, but a walk year plus, locking yourself into another year of 37 million. I don't know about that.
Expensive star players, that would typically be out of reach. So, DeGrom going to the Marlins. The Marlins are
They're going in.
B prospect, 20-year-old shortstop. All right.
Man, and the Marlins giving up prime position and a prime prospect as well to buy in for a walk year plus.
All right. He's got a reliever and a starter. It could be the White Sox.
Whoa.
Hey, shots fired.
Shots fired.
All right, we're heating up here.
Okay, so the Marlins, they have to be undefeated right now. And the Marlins and the Reds look like they trade 700 times.
Daniel Lowe, the Marlins are literally going crazy.
Yeah, they're going crazy, and they shouldn't be.
Oh,
There he is.
again, kind of paginate over, which is kind of neat there. You can kind of paginate over, which is kind of neat there. The little
Okay.
R1L1. All right, so what do we got here? Big prospect going to the Giants. Giants are clearly selling.
I guess the question is, why are they selling, though? Like, if they're having, like, one mid-year, it's not, like, too like, why are they selling? If the window's still there, they just went out and spent all this money. And if they feel like the window's still there, maybe they're just having a little bit of a down year because of whatever it could. Like, why are they selling the farm?
Cough. Travi, take over. Chapman
Giants,
on the move.
We do see Webb going a lot. We see
Aiden
that-
Miller.
Like, it feels like the trade logic is a little bit too reactive to, like, what's going on right now. Just right now, not looking at, what's happened in the past couple of years or what maybe the future looks like. It's just looking at like what's happening right now. We're sellers right now because we're 7 games under 500.
See, now here's a case where 5 years remain, right? The Phillies are willing to take
These
on
are so
a
bad.
big market team, tier 1, tier 2 type team.
Okay, so Twins are getting rid of some people, which does make sense.
Phillies again, improving the catcher position, moving another top prospect.
We have a little arms
But I feel like, catcher's such a prime position though. Like,
race here in the NL East.
Right.
Yeah,
And I have to say it because our fans.
look at this.
Okay.
the Marlins are buying and they're 34 and 30. They rebuilt the trade logic, guys. They're 8.5 games out. They're probably not even close to even a fucking wild card right now. They made trades fucking like a week ago. 4 and 6, so maybe they were 6 games over 500.
One for it.
Marlins in the wild card hunt, but the Phillies are
They're 34 and 30. I don't even know if that's in the wild card hunt right now. They're probably fucking 5.5 games back from wild card.
kinda running
machine
away,
right now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Out, but he's gonna break out with the Rangers.
He's a
of
big
course.
MLB The Show.
All right, so the Orioles are giving up on Kobe Mayo. And Christmas. That was a wild trade.
I think so.
He's
He
come by the
is.
studio
Does he
before.
play?
Shout out
Yeah.
Kobe.
Very cool.
I'm a fan of this trade. I never like rebuilding, but I'll take it. Good luck, Baltimore. Oh, here's
there we
Tim's
go.
Yankees.
Yankees and Giants.
And they're buying as the
Yeah.
The Giants are just selling everybody. Did they show the Giants record? Because, dude, the Giants went out and got all this thing. If they're just having like a little bit of a down year, selling everything is not usually the play. Like, if the window is still there and you may just be getting, like BABIP'd or fucking lucked out of your mind, like, you're not going to just sell the farm. Like, it feels like the trade logic is way too reactive.
Giants
like,
continue
current.
to sell
Ruin-
something we've been.
No trade's automatic, actually. There's always going to be a period of time while the team's assessing
All right.
the trades.
Orioles
maybe
going
waiting for
out and
different
grabbing a
offers,
reliever. I mean,
reaching out to
that's
other
not
teams,
bad.
so nothing's going to be immediate.
Right.
Yeah.
And keep
Wait for every team. All right, so we have an arms race between somehow the Marlins. Here we go.
yeah.
So yeah, that's the.
And then I'm seeing some questions. What about the trade deadline, Clayton? What does that mean? Do you got to get those offers in before the deadline?
Well, like anything, end of day.
I think the trade logic potentially has gotten worse.
On,
Yep.
on the deadline day,
Right.
no more trades.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the nature of it.
Oh, this one's interesting. You have Basayo in real life, signed a huge extension in the middle of last year.
It's interesting because it's terrible. What are we doing?
So the Twins are able to send over one
I don't want to watch this anymore, I don't think.
of their better pitchers.
Shout out Mills.
Little push here. Actually,
Dude, this is actually very bad.
for young pitcher, Cedric Mullins to the D-backs. They've changed course maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit buyer. Their season's turned.
Yeah, I think it is. It's just too reactive.
A small rebuild with the Rangers. Willie Castro's one of my favorites because look at all the positions he can play.
Yeah,
Good
Willie
player.
Willie
They're
plays all
Diamond
over the
Dynasty
place.
fans' favorites as
Yeah,
well.
Willie plays all over the
Super
place, dude.
Tons
He's
of
really good.
versatility there.
Great
Yep.
pick up by the Brewers.
I
love
loved Willie on the Tigers.
There's another young pitcher. All right, we're approaching.
Right, Austin Hayes as well. This is something that I do expect at the trade deadline.
Yeah.
Both of those guys being flipped
Yeah.
for a couple prospects in return.
Regrettably,
Bang
of
on
course.
with that.
Accuracy.
Big trade. So here
Oh,
we
hey.
go.
Oh, 4 for 4.
Four slots, like we mentioned before. The 4 slots piece. This
I mean, I can see the Tigers going out, maybe trying to get a third baseman. What the fuck? So they had Jace Young, right? Max Clark. That's not gonna happen. The Tigers aren't gonna be flipping Max Clark. I mean, he already has like a pretty big priming for the Tigers fan base. There's no way. Max Clark would probably be an untouchable, along with probably their top 3 prospects.
is the Max trade. 8 players side. Max Clark, huge prospect going to Cincinnati. Detroit, Vine Suarez. Getting the
Like I could see like Eugenio probably getting dealt, especially if whatever team he's on, he could get traded 17 times. But yeah, I don't think this is gonna happen.
bullpen piece. 2 bullpen pieces.
And the Tigers are probably gonna need bullpen at the deadline, more than likely. I mean, that's kind of where they've been a little bit, where they start really strong in the bullpen and then just kind of like peter out at the end. So like it could be something that they definitely buy at the deadline. And they might be going to third baseman too. It depends on how everybody looks at third base. We'll see.
Wow, Tigers. Huge trade.
I love it.
It is. Josh's younger brother there for the Reds.
Look at Max Clark.
Max Clark.
On the
Top
move.
prospect.
There's no fucking way.
First rounder.
Yeah, there's no way in hell that they would dip Max Clark.
All
Fans
right.
are digging this one.
The Tigers just the new ownership and management just don't really do that with their prospects.
Yeah, that's a banger right there.
3 for 3.
Oh.
Look at these.
We're getting confetti.
The Orioles. Blockbuster
on.
trade. Drew Rasmussen. Gavin Lux. He was on my Ranger rebuild too.
He
This
was.
guy is, and we'll get into platoon hitting as well, but he was,
Former top
he
prospect.
would, obviously he was hitting against righties all the time for me at second base. Look at that. What a solid bullpen piece.
Yeah.
80 OVR.
Orioles are
25
absolutely
saves already.
loading up.
1.91 ERA. Unbelievable. Seems to me the Brewers may have pivoted somewhat,
A little
although
bit.
they get a serviceable starting pitcher and a top prospect.
Yes.
Very cool.
I mean, he's a top prospect, but he's a 56 overall with C potential. I mean, I guess it could turn around.
Trade.
Can't help but notice the Marlins have cooled off a little bit. They got their
Oh, you mean they bought everybody and sold their entire farm out, and then they probably ended up losing 15 straight, and now they're sellers? Because I think your system's a little bit too reactive. Who could have
We're
thought,
gonna check.
man?
We're gonna see where they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go see where they are. So when they're 10 games over 500, they sold everything to get everybody that they could, or they sold all of their farm to buy everybody, and now they're probably 15 games under 500, and they're probably like, well, fuck, man, well, we reacted to being 10 games over 500, and that didn't quite work out. So, what do you do?
He's gonna miss Devin Williams this year.
Ooh.
Here we
Oh,
go.
Seager.
You know what?
Christian
Again, Christian Campbell is someone that was part of my rebuild as well. Okay,
Giving
so
up
we
Seager,
traded
though. That's
Seager. What
pretty
is happening here?
big.
Yeah, what is happening is right. Yeah, what is happening? Yeah.
Something's
And Nate Eovaldi?
something's wrong with
Seager
this
to the
kid. No, I'm
Red
just kidding.
Sox.
All right, so Eovaldi, again, he's in that walk year plus one.
Yep.
Spores bullpen piece. Seager, I don't like to see him go, but he is 31.
He's batting 284 and he's hit 25 home runs.
6 years remaining, big contract. If you can get Christian,
get Christian back,
Campbell
yeah.
and 2 other top 100 prospects in the game, let's go Rangers. What a smart move. What a smart
So
move.
again,
Dude, I understand from like a logic standpoint. Like this looks like a good 1-to-1 trade, right? The Red Sox aren't going to probably be giving up Christian Campbell. They're not going to be selling their farm as well to get Corey Seager back. Like you're getting 6 years of control, but at like $30+ million for all of the control that you could get with Christian Campbell and through arbitration. And you're giving up Christian Campbell. Like from a logic standpoint, like looking at like, yeah, we're both winning, right? You're getting Corey Seager and Nathan Eovaldi, and we're getting one of the best prospects in the entire league with 8 years of control at $7.5 million a year. Not even arbitration. He's locked in for 8 years at $7.5 million. So like I see the logic behind it, but neither of these things would happen.
What a smart move. What a smart
so
move.
again, you see the Red Sox taking on that big contract.
And
Maybe
Brewers
a smaller
have
market
clearly
team wouldn't do
pivoted. Yeah,
that.
Brewers have
Right.
clearly pivoted. They're selling Woodruff. Walk here for Woodruff. Big contract, but the Padres are
And they're selling Woodruff for fucking nothing. Table scraps.
strengthening their rotation. So some cool trades there.
And that's
Trade
the
deadline
deadline.
day. 3 trades here. Another big one.
Dude, holy shit.
8-player trade. Houston. making a late push.
There's a lot of
Mets.
8-player
Look
trades.
at
by the way.
Yelich.
Yeah.
Wow.
Brewers really are selling.
Getting
Like
rid of
Bowers as well.
everyone.
Yup.
Yeah, we'll go over that right after
Check
this.
that.
Jonah Tong
Look at
heading
this
back to the
one.
A's.
Severino to the Mets. Bullpen piece.
Aaron Savali
Severino.
heading
Look at this
back to
one.
the A's.
Okay.
Severino to the Mets. Bullpen piece.
Wait, so the Mets buying now again after just selling a little bit? So the Mets did a little bit of selling, and now they're buying again?
Aaron Savali, White Sox legend.
Yeah.
All right.
White Sox legend.
So there we have it. We can't control how many trades happen on certain days. Sometimes, honestly, trade deadline, I've seen up to like 10, 11 trades on
Really?
those days, which is exciting. Let's check out the standings now. We'll see where
Yes.
we're at. Where do we think the Marlins are at?
I'm scared to look.
They've,
I'm
dropped
scared to
off.
say.
Look
you
at the
know?
Orioles with all their acquisitions. They're still look like in the wild.
They're
card.
wild card
Red
racing
Sox-
right now.
Red
Yankees
Sox
too.
there,
Blue
and
Jays
they-
sold
and they
everybody,
added
so
Seager. Tim,
and they're 5 games under
Yankees
500
as
at the All-Star
I'm
break.
curious where the Brewers.
Because I mean, teams definitely can't bring it back after All-Star break, right? I mean, they never can. So we might as well just sell everybody. I mean, the Tigers definitely didn't bring it back after an All-Star break or anything a couple years ago, but Tigers are 56 and 55, so they're right in the mix.
They've been
wild
giving
card
up.
quick
There
here.
we go.
Orioles firmly in the wild card though.
Yeah.
Yankees as well. Astros. They were all buying.
Mm-hmm.
The Blue Jays are 4 games back, and they sold a bunch from wild card.
Tigers as well. They had that one
They did.
trade.
Gave up Max Clark for it.
They did, but they're
One
in the
game
mix.
back. Yeah, they're
still
right
on
there.
the hunt.
Nope.
We go with the NL. Phillies
Phillies
cooled
can
off
keep
a little
running.
bit,
Yeah.
Hey, at least they bought everybody.
but ooh, the Marlins.
They're still hanging around.
They are.
You know, 10.5 games back. I mean, they're hanging around, but like, what were they? 4.5 games back before?
We'll take a look at the wild card stand. Cubs solid. Look at the Pirates. What's that rookie's name?
Connor Griffin.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
probably making a difference.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, he's really good.
Oh,
Hey.
freaking Dodgers. Bye. We won't talk. Travis is a Dodgers fan.
By the way, the Marlins bought everybody, sold their entire farm. I mean, they're 4 games out of the wild card, but brother, the Marlins aren't going to do that.
All right, it's Padres, D-backs. Oh, there you go. D-backs in the mix.
Right.
The Brewers fell off. Marlins 4 games back. Come on, Marlins. Still
Yeah.
cheering for you.
Brewers under
The
500.
Mets, dude, the Mets are 5 games back around All-Star. Well, I guess we're a little past All-Star. Like, they have, what, like 60 games left? But they're 5 games back.
A lot of guys are moving.
Yeah. Some emotions here too, especially when your Rangers popped up.
Oh,
You
Seager.
know,
Unexpected sellers?
I didn't like moving Seager,
Yeah.
Eovaldi.
Yeah.
Do you see what they got for
Yeah.
him? Wow, what
I mean, yeah, again, on paper it looks good, but neither of those things will happen.
a haul. Impressive.
I still
Almost
miss
as
Seager.
if I was GM. You know?
There you go.
Like, why would you go out, lock somebody up through arbitration at 7.5 a clip, and then just trade them? Like,
Let's hit the dev kit.
Well, so once again, we're now single team focused.
New save
Yeah.
file.
Now, before we dig into the trade hub, let's talk pitching rotations.
All right.
Yes.
Let's talk bullpen games.
And we touched on some of this in the pre-record, but the addition of bullpen games is going to make life easier for some teams, especially when injuries pop up and stuff like that, right?
Right. So as Tim alluded to, obviously we want realism, we want modern trends, you know, and obviously the bullpen game is
I think that the trades could probably be fixed if it's just not so reactionary. They need to take a little bit more of a macro approach instead of a micro approach.
one of those modern trends. Where are my notes?
And I guess the untouchables just aren't. There are no untouchables. Like, we saw J-Ram get traded. We've seen like top prospects get traded. Max Clark get traded, which I just don't think. I don't think that's gonna happen. Tigers management just hasn't really shown that they're willing to do that kind of stuff. At least not now. They used to be sell everybody. I don't give a shit. Take whatever you want. We're trying to win now, but the Tigers have taken more of an approach of build it through draft and international and, you know, work your way up through there while making some, like, still some trades, and you still might send some prospects out and stuff like that, but they've been more focused on, like, building it that way instead of making, like, these huge splashes.
On the bullpen game here. So the Angels were coming in the season. Clearly, it's deemed that they don't have a quality enough fifth starter. right? So they're right off the start, opening day, they're running a bullpen game.
Which is pretty cool. Yeah, this is nice.
You can have the bullpen game in any slot. It doesn't have to be in the 5th slot. Oh, I don't control them, so that's right. I can't switch that. But you can move to the 2nd slot, 3rd slot, what have you. Stevenson is their opener. You can switch your opener at any time.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's pretty cool too.
Bullpen games, modern game, realism. That's what we like to see. And the CPU is doing it naturally for the Angels, which is something we didn't expect all the time. But basically, so lack of quality. That's the deal with the Angels here. Sorry, Matt on our team. Big fact in there.
So Travis, this will also be the computer will be able to do it for you if you
Correct.
need to.
Okay, yeah, yep, we know it's in here, which is awesome.
As well, Clayton.
That's true, but I mean, you didn't mention regression. I'm happy
All
to
right,
talk
if you want to
about
go
it
into
now.
it, let's do it
Yeah.
now.
Right in.
Okay, I think like the rest of you out there, the community, it wasn't fun having like an aging all-star who was still playing at an all-star level just literally fall off the cliff, right?
Yeah, that sucked.
So we've updated regression logic. If an aging player past his peak, if he's still playing at or above his expected level, then his regression is going to be much slower than it ever has before.
That's good.
So
that's good.
You'll see these guys, these all-stars, these top players that are still playing well. They're going to age more gracefully. They're not going to fall off a cliff. So yeah, that's new logic.
That's nice.
So
Okay.
hopefully that answers that question.
Yes.
And that'll pertain to those higher tier all-star caliber players.
It's kind of anybody really though, and Trey, you can touch on too.
Right. It's all players, but it's especially noticeable with the top tier players, the all stars, and they just all of a sudden hit a certain age and then just drop way off. We don't want to see that. If they're still playing at a good level, they'll continue.
Yeah, I mean, if your peak is a C potential, B potential player, and you're playing at or above that, they'll still regress more slowly, but it's more noticeable. You know the names. You see like now maybe you'll see Chris Sale fall off the cliff.
Whoa!
In past
Don't disrespect
years.
my king like that.
Fair.
But understandable.
This regression
Point
is
taken.
protecting, right? So if he's playing at
It's
all-star level, much more graceful, he'll go off into the sunset with a
Take it.
beautiful end.
It
to
just
his
won't
career.
end like that. Yeah.
There we
for
go.
sure.
Exactly.
Very
yeah.
cool.
Yes.
Now, since we have the rotation screen, the bullpen here, there is new bullpen logic. I think Tim touched on it, but let's dig into it a bit more. The new logic, it basically looks to pitch relievers who have not pitched in a while. Like a lot of times, even with closers, if they haven't pitched in 3-4 days,
they'll bring him in and
they're
just
gonna throw him out
give
there.
him,
For
give him some minute and get some work in. Yeah,
rust.
yeah, that happens all the time.
Give
Yeah.
him even
Yeah.
like a half inning.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
a game where it's not a safe situation.
Yeah.
Right? So that logic's
Yeah,
in
that
there.
happens all the time.
We look at pitcher usage over like the previous 10 days, pitches thrown, how much energy. The logic is much more in tune to like high leverage situations, so like setup men, closers. Typically they'll come in more high leverage situations, and it doesn't have to be like 7th or 8th inning. Depends on the situation.
Yeah, I mean sometimes you'll bring him in for 5th, 6th inning. Yeah.
But that's
Leverage.
something we are seeing in real life Major League Baseball is your closer isn't always coming in the 9th inning. It's whatever that highest leverage situation is.
Sometimes they come in the 8th and 9th. You just have him shut down for 2 innings.
If it is in the 7th inning, that's where you're going to see your highest leverage reliever.
Yeah, it's
Maybe not the 7th for a closer. I mean, you usually will still bring up a setup man for that, but
it's modern trends, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of times, sometimes you'll have a set closer, then you have another guy designated as this. If there's a
Your high
fire
leverage
that needs
guy.
to be put
Right.
out earlier in the game, he'll come in, right?
Yeah.
And then the reliever selection overall looks at skill, looks at usage, looks at season workload, how much rest, obviously handedness matchup, and then again the high-low role as far as reliever.
hopefully they don't just look at handedness matchup, like, because you can just have good matchups. Like, your pitcher has a guy batting 100 off of him, like, in 15 at bats or something. Like, you'll bring that in and just sometimes you just can't see a pitcher's pitch. Like, sometimes you just dominate, whether it's left versus right or right versus left or left, it doesn't matter. Hopefully it does look at like maybe just some matchups in general.
Leverage
Right.
for reliever. Yeah.
Yes.
So all that bullpen logic should just be more modern, smarter.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that
for sure.
transitions us well into lineup logic, where it's very similar. We're going to see guys with the highest OBP at the top of the lineup, while those who have better slugging, they're going to be more toward in the middle of the lineup.
Exactly. Tim touched on it. Best hitters will be batting 1, 2, 3. Typically on base percentage guy, lead off. Your best hitters Progression and regression.
And they went over all this.
And then it's roster competition. You make trades, you call guys up, send guys down.
And I saw it asked in the Twitch chat, when do you decide to do a bullpen game? Looks like the user is in control of that, while the CPU is going to kind of do it depending on where
they went over all this.
Cool, but that is the new logic introduced in franchise. We are excited for you all to experience this for yourself just 2 weeks from today with the Digital Deluxe Edition for early access. But we wanted to end this stream talking about Streamlined franchise, Travis. So I'll hand it off to you.
Sure, yeah. Streamlined, it's all about accessibility. Like Clayton talked about their pillars. We want, more accessible, easier onboarding. Franchise can be difficult to manage. It's a beast. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of levers to pull. Can be overwhelming at times. So we wanted to have like a simplified experience to, default you to more manageable day-to-day pieces. It's a very tailored experience, and it kind of guides you into that experience. And it's it's more of that onboard.
If you're not getting any pending offers. All right, so we're gonna dig in here. I skimmed a little bit ahead, but I want to get into the trade hub. Let's get into all the pieces of it. Right away when you hop in, again, market sentiment, seller's market, bidding wars for closing pitchers, but there's an abundance of starting pitchers, right? So could be bargains for starting pitchers. We give you a little guidance down here. If you're not getting any pending offers, load up your trade block. I'm Texas, so my Texas trade block, and then fill out my trade targets and fill positions. Right. Rumors, again, we mentioned fog of war. Some of these are real, some of these are not. Just like if you're online scouring all the gossip out there.
Yeah, some of the White Sox involved in a rumor potentially.
What's true and what's not?
White Sox could use an upgrade. Well,
as soon as I see one person give me false information, they are fucking done. They're done, dude.
Well, that's,
right. Listen.
That goes without saying at any position. But anyway.
Right. Got to decipher the real ones from the false
So we'll
ones.
dig in here. We're gonna load up the trade block here. All right. So who should we put on the block, guys? I'm putting Nimmo.
Yeah.
I'm putting Garcia.
Yeah.
So the Giants are still interested in Nimmo?
I'm not putting Seager, but I'll put DeGrom.
Wow.
Let's see if someone still tries to get Seager. I'm putting Berger. Spores.
Also White Sox legend.
Josh Smith.
Man, season hasn't even started yet, and it's fucking have all these guys, man.
I like Josh Smith, very versatile, but I'll put him on the block.
In the chat, how do you make a player untouchable?
You go over to untouchables, go into your list, and select any player you want to make untouchable.
We got about 5 more minutes here, so we're going to try to get some trades out. So everyone.
Covering drafts and scouting, that stuff's all returning from last year, right?
Yeah. So stuff kind of it's for pitchers. It goes into hits per 9, Ks per 9, homers per 9.
Think about
Basically, it's the kind of the
their
quality
attributes.
of
Why are there 2 home runs per 9? Is this supposed to be left righty?
But let's see what other kind of offers. Blockbuster trade, Alcantara for Jason.
So we're still getting the Blockbuster notifications.
Yeah, even though I'm only controlling the Rangers, we still get the Blockbuster notifications.
All right.
We mentioned it, March.
Well, they already gave up. Pete Alonso's now a Ranger.
Put Kumar on the block.
All right, you get Pete back.
Pete, 5 years, $31 million.
Big contract he just signed.
Yeah.
All right, we got 2 minutes.
He just signed. Yeah. True.
We moved the pitcher energies so you can see it on the rotation screen now. It's nice to know.
That's nice.
Or not your starter is.
For sure.
We split up, as you can see down here. We split up arbitration and renewables so that it's its own option now. If you like dealing with arbitration but hated dealing with renewables, you can now.
Thank fucking Christ. Oh my God, you have no idea how much I hated going through individually and renewing people. Hopefully they do a batch renewable, because I just want to go through and select like renew. Like it was so much wasted time on all of the renewables that you had to do.
Have different
Pick
options
one of
for
the two.
each.
Right,
Exactly. Yeah. Updated Hall of Fame logic selection logic, I should say, and then we have rosters that are more dedicated to franchise, right? So they should be set up better when it comes to positions, attributes, and it'll work better with the franchise ecosystem as a whole. So that and more, but we don't have enough time.
We're at time. Thank you so much, Clayton and Travis, for joining us.
You're welcome.
Walking through all the new franchise stuff in MLB 26.
And thank you, fans, for sticking with us. This was our 4th feature premiere. We're, again, just 2 weeks.
Overall, this is really bad. We'll see what it launches as, though. Like, there's definitely some good QOL stuff in there, but redesigning your trade logic and then that trade logic coming out and being kind of poopy is definitely a tough look. But, I mean, I'll find out what it's like when the game launches. We'll see. I'll see for myself what it looks like. But it may be just another year of looking at OOTP spreadsheets. And, yeah. I mean, OOTP is always going to have the better franchise overall because it's just built for that. They're 2 completely different games. Like, franchise mode in this has to rely, like, on gameplay and stuff like that. But, I mean, just getting, like, basic logic down for the franchise would be nice. And we'll see if they make any adjustments or anything when the game launches to the franchise and the trades and all that stuff. But, honestly, this wasn't a good... I don't think this is a good live stream for them overall. There's definitely some wins in here, but overall, with their big thing being the trade logic and that trade logic not being that great, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But anyway, that's the feature premiere for franchise. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like on the video. Comment down below what you thought of everything that they showed off. Sub to the channel for just content, golf, Super Battle Golf, MLB The Show, Pure Pool, Under Par, bunch of stuff on the channel. If that interests you, think about subscribing to the channel. But have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. And I'll catch you on the next one. That was horrendous.